Hey everyone, welcome to the M&R show. I'm Ron,
I'm Malcolm.
and today we have two segments. The first one is our NBA players of the month. We're going to be talking about those, and then we have another fun topic at the end. I'll let Malcolm start.
Hey, so for our East Player of the Month is awarded to James Harden from the Brooklyn Nets, and to be
Yes,
honest,
sir.
he deserves it so much. Ever since that he's gotten to Brooklyn, he's been averaging 11 assists a game. He's been averaging 25 points a game, and almost a triple double to be honest. He has proven and he has shown to be the point guard that we knew Brooklyn needed to be very successful, and that we did not know that what James Harden would be able to move to, because we didn't think that James Harden was going to move to full-time point guard duty. But at the end, he has been doing a marvelous job as being able to facilitate the offense and be able to uplift his team.
Yeah, I definitely think Harden deserved it. I mean, it's probably in a little out of hand with like personally he's the best player in the NBA right now and Stephen A. Smith, but they've probably taken this a little bit too far. But he has had a great month. He's been great since getting to Brooklyn. I love the switch to point guard, even though he's really like a hybrid type of combo guard. So like he's always kind of been that. We all know Harden is one of the only players in the league that can dominate scoring and playmaking. It's really like a handful of other players, like a LeBron, Luka. Those are names coming to my head first. So I mean, he's had a great month, like you say. He's almost averaging a triple double on a pretty efficient clip. We all know he's gonna get to that free throw line. So a lot of those points are at the free throw line and from three. And he's been helping Kyrie Irving eat, because now Kyrie Irving is turning into Allen Iverson dang near an efficient AI. So he's just letting Kyrie eat, making the whole team happy. And he's really been the best player, I think, on Brooklyn. So yeah. And then for the West, we have Devin Booker. He's been averaging 28, about 4.8, 3.7 assists on an even more efficient clip than even James Harden. He's had a great month. Really, his biggest change from early in the year, he's just got more comfortable with Chris Paul. I mean, Chris Paul is a point god, so he does have to have the ball to be effective. Sometimes, Chris Paul can play off ball too. I mean, we've seen it happen. But Booker's been having the ball more, and he was a dog this month.
Yeah, Devin Booker has been doing very good, and I understand that it was going to be some time where he has to, get acclimated to a guy like Chris Paul. But to be honest, Ron, I'm about to go with your man. I think he really should have deserved this player of the month, and Luka Doncic. This guy is averaging 30 points a game, eight rebounds, and 8 assists a game. He has led his team to 9-4 record in the month of February. But if you understand that they had a lot of injuries, so the way that he's been able to improve his game so he can be able to uplift his whole team is something that we have to look at. Because to be honest, he's been doing a fairly good job. We gotta give a guy like Luka Doncic props, especially man, something that you did not do. That's what you should have done.
Definitely. But yeah, Luka's not a bad choice, because then the Mavericks are now, I think, the 8th seed, or they're hovering that 8th seed. Is like they probably gave it the book. I'm thinking because now the Suns are now the 2 seed by the end of the month, which is crazy because a team went from not being a playoff team to the 2 seed. But Chris Paul, that impact is just not in the stat sheet. Simple. Like
something that you can't really write down or really understand, to be honest, until you actually watch basketball.
Nah, literally. And my last thing before we move off this topic, I do think Giannis does have a decent chance at that East one, and Embiid, because they also had great months. But at the same time, like you said, James Harden's got a lot of media hype as well. So not only does he have the numbers to back it up, but the media is pushing him. For one, they're pushing him as an MVP candidate right now. Not saying he's not, but they're real, like that's starting to become like a narrative, and that's starting to be pushed by that's like an agenda by the media. I'm not gonna say an agenda, but that's just something the media is pushing right now.
Oh yeah, most stuff.
All right, though. Now we got a little fun topic that we want to give a special shout out to Colin Cowherd, the Herd. As we know, I'm definitely a fan favorite. Mark, Mark's pretty much, I wouldn't say Mark was the hugest fan, but he's a pretty big fan of the show. So we wanted to use one of his segments that he's doing, which is Colin Right, Colin Wrong. But now we're doing M&R Right, M&R Wrong. So now Mark's going to start with his first wrong player.
My first wrong player, we just talked about him. Okay, when I seen a guy like James Harden get traded, I said he's getting traded to the Nets. This is going to be a lot of understanding each other's role, and I said maybe they're gonna come together, but I didn't expect James Harden to be able to understand his role this quick. Now, let's understand what James Harden has been doing. We already reiterated in our last topic. He's been averaging 25 a game since he's been in Brooklyn. He's been averaging a league-leading 11.3 assists a game, and 9 rebounds. So that's almost a triple-double that James Harden has been averaging. He has been the quintessential point guard of this Brooklyn Nets team. And when you do that, you bring a guy like Kyrie, who everybody thinks I hate Kyrie. Let me tell you, I do not hate Kyrie. I just think that Kyrie should not be the primary playmaker on your team. You can show me this glitz and glamour of the stats and everything like that, but we all understand, if you watch basketball, you know that Kyrie should not be your primary playmaker. He will score the ball all day. That's what he's very good at. That's his strength. And I think when you have a guy like James Harden who gives Kyrie the opportunity to be able to play his game and give KD the opportunity just to be KD, it really uplifts the offense. And to be able, if you see what James Harden is doing with this team without a guy like Kyrie, without a guy like Kevin Durant, and they're able to still uplift the team, I think James Harden should be in the category of MVP candidate. Because you know what's crazy?
Yeah.
James Harden went from a person who they call a cancer and
fat.
He's doing this
Call him
and
fat.
Fat, ineffective, to a guy that should be an MVP. It's crazy how media works. I'll tell you that. It's crazy how media works.
Yeah, the media. I'm not mad at Harden. I had a feeling this type of change is going to happen because his skill set is just so elite. Like, you're a top 8 player. I'm not worried about you changing. And he can shoot, so he can kind of play anywhere. But now for Ron's wrong is Scary Terry Rozier. If you follow us at Malc and Ron Show on Twitter, you see a lot of tweets. Could be me, could be Malcolm, but it's a lot of negative energy towards Terry Rozier in the months of, like, what do you say, Malcolm? Like November? What's season start? Like December, November? Those earlier months of the season, it was like, Terry Rozier, he can't keep this up. He's playing pretty good, but I don't think he'll be able to keep it up. But man, this kid, he's kept it up. I mean, I was definitely wrong about that. I mean, he's having 20 points. He's shooting 62% true shooting. He's even shooting 40% from the 3. That's the key, is the 3. He can shoot a 3 in Boston, but the volume plus efficiency is something that I couldn't have predicted. Because remember Boston was calling out Kyrie saying he should be starting over Kyrie and everything, and all this crazy stuff. I'm like, this guy's not as good as he's saying he is. But him and what's his name, Jeremiah Grant from Pistons called their respective teams out, left, and been balling. So I'm not mad at him at all. And clearly him and LaMelo seem like they're just like the knife and butter because they just fit perfect. Like, LaMelo's game complements him so much because he's 6'7". Scary's only 6'2", but he's a 6'2" shooting guard. LaMelo can guard 1 through 3. So there's a perfect blend. So I was definitely wrong about Terry.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Terry is a very good player. He's in his prime right now, so he's playing the best basketball of his career. I just think that the Charlotte Hornets did a good job, was able to trust him, believe in him. So now they're reaping the benefits of what he's been doing. So good job to Terry Rozier, though, to be honest. But for my one of my players, my second player is LaMelo Ball.
Woo! Clap it up for Melo. Yes, sir.
Nah, settle down. Nah. All right. Hey, to be honest, I want to make sure this is clear. I never said that he was going to be a bust. I just said that he would be a very solid player, and he's been a very solid player right now. He's been for the last 7 games. He's been averaging 20 points per game, 6 assists, and 6 rebounds with 40% 3-point shooting and 45% from the field. He's playing like how everybody expected him to play. Can this maintain throughout the season and maybe for the coming years? Yeah, most definitely. I see what he's been doing. I think that he's been doing very good. And okay, I'm wrong. I could be wrong about players. All right, everybody's wrong. You know what I'm saying? People will be wrong about players. I think that Anthony Edwards
at least for admitting, I feel like it's important, for credibility of the show. To us, if we make a mistake, just say we made a mistake. That's life. Make mistakes in life.
Yeah. I got something like that. I got it, to be honest. But
anyway, my second play that I was wrong about was Demar Derozan. Now, it's not like he's having this elite season. He was definitely a borderline all-star. He didn't make it, but he was right on the cusp of, almost being an all-star. He's actually changed position. Right now he's like a small forward, power forward, and small ball lineups. But he's having a pretty good season. He's having 21 points per game, a 9.6 box creation, which means his I mean, DeMar DeRozan was not a good passer in Toronto. That's just the facts. Like, he just wasn't that good of a passer there. So his passing is really, it's really, I think it's the Spurs system because, they run like that motion offense with the high pick and roll. It's worked pretty good for him there. He's kind of like one of their only vets that's still good because LA is almost unplayable at this point in his career. It's getting bad. But they got the young guys with Derek White, Jonte Murray, Keldon Johnson, Lonnie Walker. So he's like the vet that's keeping his team alive. And I think the Spurs are like a top 8 seed. Well, they're in the playoff right now. I think they're the 6th seed as of today. So, yeah, I'm proud of DeMar DeRozan. I'm proud of him. He's still shooting at 3. It's been a little better than previous seasons. But overall, it's a pretty good season. So I can't be mad at him.
Yeah, I understand. DeMar DeRozan has been doing very good, because ever since he got traded from Toronto, people have tried to understand that he's just not that good of a player. He's just that he's in the wrong era, But then you put him in a system with Greg Popovich, who, is a very great coach. And, he's able to do what he got to do. So I like the improvement that we see from DeMar DeRozan, and especially this first team who is sick, who nobody's not talking about, and they just slowly but
very
constantly
sneaky,
just being very competitive in the West, which is amazing to me, to be honest. But for me, I have to go for a player who I'm going to start off, who I was right about, and yes, I'm going to be cocky because guess what? I'm going to make sure y'all understand this. I've been right about this player ever since before the summertime, before he was even on Houston. This is when he was in Detroit. And a guy in Christian Wood. Now, I know a lot of people did not even think about Christian Wood or sniff Christian Wood. But if you're talking about a guy who can shoot the 3, who can shoot the mid-range, can be a pick and roller if he wants to, he will be very effective, especially with a point guard, as in a guy like John Wall or James Harden. This is before James Harden was gone. I said that he was going to be perfect he's going to be a good, partner, a roller, or with a guy like James Harden. And to be honest, when we start seeing the first couple games, we've seen the potential of this dynamic duo that we thought was going to be. But at the end of the day, that's like, it's because James Harden. Christian Wood has continued to have produced this whole season. He's averaging 22 points per game, 10 rebounds a game, and he's shooting 42% from the 3-point line.
Elite on defense, too.
Let's look there. He's elite on defense, and he's a star. He's a promising player that Houston got for cheap. For
$18 million. That's nothing. Like, that's nothing, bro.
And I just want people to understand that Christian Wood has been very good this season. And I understand that he's injured right now with the ankle injury. But when healthy, this guy, Christian Wood, has been very good. Look what Houston Rockets is doing right now since he's been injured.
What the heck is Detroit doing? They could have kept this guy. Him and Grant. That might be a playoff team. I don't know. But him and Grant, that have been as a 4 and 5.
That's a promising.
That's not bad. And then you drafted Killian Hayes, so you had a young guard where it helped him. But anyway, that's weird. We done a lot of gushing over Christian Wood. Now it's trying to bring some hate. So I'm just joking. But we're gonna be talking about a player that I have talked about kind of bad for a long time. Do think he's a very good player. Well, I think he's a good player, but his price tag has made me kind of have to get on him. And that player is Blake Griffin. Yes, Blake Griffin, the former Los Angeles Clipper and from Lob City. Now, they told me back then it was Chris Paul's fault when they won the championship. But we've been seeing, man, it wasn't Chris Paul. It was DeAndre Jordan. He's been a scrub since. Blake Griffin, who had a couple, 1 or 2 good seasons when Chris Paul left. After that, it was kind of downhill, though. So now we see Blake Griffin. He's shooting 49.1 true shoot percentage, which is 10% below the league average right now. He's not rebounding well. His passing is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. His passing has definitely improved. But overall, he's been hurt. He's sitting out right now. The only good thing I say about Blake Griffin right now is that he hasn't been a cancer to the culture in Detroit. He hasn't said anything bad in the media. He hasn't complained. He's been a good teammate. Can't be mad at that. But overall, his play has not been good. And right now, they're like, Jeremiah Grant, we want you to be our power forward. You can play the 3, but we're not going to put you out of position for Blake Griffin. We're just not going to do that for our team. So they told Blake Griffin, look, you can stay home, man. We'll pay you. You can just stay home. So, I mean, that's what's happening right now. I mean, maybe since he left the Jenner girl, it hasn't worked out for him. Because it literally, think about it, it's been downhill since then. Ben Simmons has gone up, and D Book, they got the Jenner girl, and it's been up for them. Blake Griffin has gone down. So maybe she's the key.
That curse. It's the curse. It's really
the curse. Like
literally. It's literally the curse of the, because every time somebody gets to somebody, the career's over. Literally.
Cause we see, I mean, D Book is literally dating Kendall Jenner right now. And this man has played a month. So maybe she's the anomaly, because Blake Griffin was at the top of his career when he was with her. So look, man, I ain't gonna say too much else about the Jenner. I ain't trying to be viral right now. But Blake Griffin, I pray you go to a contender. You become like a 6th or 7th man, maybe a resurgence, but we'll see. But you can go ahead, Malcolm.
I understand most definitely what you mean about Blake Griffin, but to be honest, he would be a very good pickup for any team. To be honest, when he's released in the buyout market, a very sought after pickup. But one player that I really think we all have been, really down and on. And let's just sit down and just actually understand. As a Boston fan, I'm a true Boston fan. We've had a lot of hate mail on a guy like Gordon Hayward. And the way that they thought that Gordon Hayward last year, they were just like, well, he only averaged 17, but he averaged 17 almost on a 50-40
Literally, and a pretty good playmaker as well.
And this guy's a pretty good playmaker. But, guys that always say, Gordon Hayward was the reason why they was holding him back. I said he wasn't healthy. A healthy Gordon Hayward would have been crazy. But, people didn't believe him. He left and went to Charlotte. And this guy is averaging 21.5 points per game, 5.4 rebounds, and almost 4 assists a game. He's shooting 48% from the field, 42% from the three-point line, and 86% from the free throw. Another almost 50-40-90. This guy, Gordon Hayward, is a very versatile wing who can be he's a very good playmaker. I've said this plenty of times that Gordon Hayward is healthy now. This is not the Gordon Hayward a year after he returned. Paul George was not that good a year after when he returned back from his gruesome ankle injury. It takes time. And, I see all these other people who act like they've been in these crazy injuries before, knowing that, they got to get better as soon as this good around the court. Kevin Durant took an extra year off to be able to be as good as he is right now. At the end of the day, it takes time. And as you've seen, Gordon Hayward is back to the Gordon Hayward of old. And he has been producing. So I want everybody to give him the adequate respect that he needs, all right? All right, that's just from a Boston fan, because I really think
Hey, shout out. Gordon Hayward's been playing pretty good, man. Gordon Hayward's a player that kind of fits on every team. Because he does, he's like a all-star level glue guy. Because he does all the little things great. I mean, the defense is, I'm not gonna say it's good, but it's not bad. He's like a neutral defender. I wouldn't say he's like a liability on defense. I don't think you can go that far. And of course, he has a 6'8" length. Feet, not the fastest, but he's not too slow. He's great in transition. Can shoot the three well. Very good playmaker. That's probably his most underrated skill. Is his playmaking is really good. I think on a team with like a Rozier and Devontae Graham, players that want to score, and Miles Bridges that really can't create for themselves, him and LaMelo are perfect for this type of team because they can both play make for all these other players that they're just young guys that want to score. Malik Monk is the perfect example of a guy that can't really create for others, but he wants to just go out there and score 20 points a game. They're letting him rock out because Hayward is going to get the ball out fast. So this is not a selfish team. I think that's why he's fit so well there. And okay, so for my player that I was right about, probably it's going to be very controversial. It's Russell Westbrook. You're saying, okay, so what's this guy going to say? Westbrook's having a decent little season. It's hard for me to measure this kid because it's a lot of good, but it's a lot of bad. So it's like, where's the middle ground? This guy, I'm just saying, like this guy, you want consistency in life. I want my daily schedule to be consistent. I don't want too many things jumping in between that. This guy is always something jumping in between him. Either it's injury, he's not playing back-to-backs. He's starting to play back-to-backs now. But at first, he wasn't playing back-to-backs. Okay, this is crazy. He didn't dunk for his first 6 games. Crazy stat, but it's like, it's not that big of a deal, but it's Russell Westbrook. His whole thing is dunking. So I'm like, okay, this guy's lost his athleticism. then, like, I mean, he's shooting his lowest true shooting percentage of his career with spacing. So I don't really understand where that came from. He has been passing the ball very well, though. I can say that. He's been very good passing the ball. He does sometimes pass a little too much, and he takes a little bit too many threes. Last month, though, he's cut his threes down. He's taking about 2 a game. Beautiful. You should be taking 2 max per game. And I'm talking about, like, they're leaving you wide open, bro. Like, don't take any off the dribble. Catch and shoot threes wide open. That's it. And he'll be fine. That's his most efficient self. I think that's where he becomes his most effective. He's been attacking the rim at like a 60, I think it's at 67% clip over his last 10 games. Perfect. That's at first he was only doing that at 55%. Too low. You're not a good jump shooter. Get to the rim. Once he's done that, everything's changed. So that's just my thing. I just think he can improve, but right now I just feel like I was right about him. And it's just, it hasn't, the Wizards are what I thought they would be, essentially. Malcolm or Westbrook, this is your guy, man. Hey,
how I can explain it? We're not trying to have an excuse for it. Number one, we all understand that Russell Westbrook was coming off from quad injury. Now, am I satisfied with this level of production that Russell Westbrook has shown? No. I've been quiet, as you can see. I haven't been talking about it too much because, at the end of the day, it's been horrible. But we have to understand that, Russell Westbrook did come off an injury. The quad injury is not so easy to heal. You can't just go off and go crazy just after you having a serious quad injury. And he's been playing off of it. And, as you can see as of late, Russell Westbrook has been playing a lot better. And if you look at the schedule, look at what the Wizards has been doing as a team. They've been playing a lot better as a team.
Yeah.
But I understand what you say about Russell Westbrook. Ron actually is a Russell Westbrook hater. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all.
This is not true. This is not true. That is a narrative that's not true.
Ron will be the one. If Russell Westbrook missed 2 shots, he will post that and say that Russell Westbrook made 2 shots. Oh my gosh, we done. We lost. And that's just the guy Ron is. I want to make sure we all understand. If Russell Westbrook has been good, no, we'll definitely know. But at the end of the day, let's just understand. This has never been Ron's type of guy at all. And so, the criticism that Russell Westbrook is going to get from a guy like Ron is 2 times more than a criticism that I would give him, knowing that I expect better.
That's probably true. About the criticism, this is my thing. It's just like, I'm not even going to say it because we need to end it. We're about to end this segment. My last thing is, I just want him to take more efficient shots. His IQ, not the best. I can't act like he has an A level IQ. If he had Chris Paul's IQ, he could probably be like a top 50 player in the NBA history. Probably. But that's not the case. It's just not, he just doesn't, he makes passes good, but it's at the right moment. Stuff just doesn't work out. When you need that right 3 to go down or that right pass, something just goes wrong. I can't explain it. Malcolm, before we end the segment.
I know, I never have to explain.
Okay, well, make sure you all go. Okay, well, make sure you all go follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Malc and Ron Show, and on our YouTube at M and the and symbol R Show. Like, subscribe, comment. Malc.
Hey guys, thank you for the continued support. Make sure you still subscribe to our show and keep on supporting us, guys. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great afternoon.
All right.
See y'all.